Hey guys, it is our first grocery trip of December 2025, and so I'm just going down the line. We went to Sam's Club today, and that's the only place that we're hitting. We got our laundry pads, trash bags, dishwasher pods, dog food, pork loin, onions, russet potatoes, sweet potatoes, grapes, blueberries, goat cheese, 2 kinds of lunch meat. We're in a turkey mood, so we got the 4-peppered and the honey roast, sharimi flakes, 2 things of ground beef. I really like them in this package. We used to get the full logs, but just the fact that I don't have to process it down to pop it into the freezer has been really nice. Pickles, cream cheese, eggs, bok choy. First time getting those. We're making wontons today, so I was going to try to make wonton soup with the bok choy, lens wipes, avocados, a big old thing of cheese, and we're going to be eating some Sam's Club sushi today. So this is all of the groceries that we got just here on the 6-foot table, and let's get into what meals I make with them this week, as well as what we have in our pantry, our cabinet, and, just food stores in general. Did Mr. Puddums eating Z's food? Eating Z's food, Mr. Puddums. Oh, my floor's dirty. I gotta clean. We got all the groceries put away, and Ember has been just such a grumpy, lovely loaf the whole time. And I really enjoyed her company. Our excursion to Sam's Club totaled out at $315.62. So for lunch today, we're having leftover chili reheated with 1/2 ounce of shredded sharp cheddar cheese and 30 grams of sour cream. We're having a 1/4 box of the cornbread, the Jiffy cornbread. And for this recipe, for us to have this serving of cornbread with this serving of toppings in chili from an empty pantry was $37.52, but that was like before tax and delivery charge. But that's just like the items. So you'll see that scrolling on your screen here, all the ingredients. But that made us 10 servings, so that was $3.75 per serving. Which, of course, there are ways to make this meal cost a lot less, too, by buying things in bulk, by using dry beans instead of canned beans. We had gotten some pie pumpkins for $1 a piece, and roasting one in the oven, we only used about 1/2 a pumpkin in this chili, and I think it did a really good job of offsetting the acidity of the canned tomato products that we put in. And it's a higher calorie meal at 773 calories, but we could totally trim down how much cornbread we're having with it and, thin out the toppings a little bit. And that would trim the calories back if that's what we were looking for. Included in the $37.52 for the order from an empty pantry is some whole milk. We like milk with our chili, and also Randy's favorite dessert is putting his cornbread into his milk and mashing it up. So that's the milk was part of that for us. Dinner this evening, these are the ingredients, and we've got 12 cups of chicken broth, 1.5 pounds of ground pork, the green onions, the baby bok choy, the Sam's Club sushi, the wonton wrappers, and cornstarch, toasted sesame oil, soy sauce, ginger, and minced garlic. And then over here, I have, getting ready for tomorrow, some beans on soaking, some pinto beans. So let's get this cooked. The wonton soup costs from an empty pantry is $47.99 for the whole pot, or $4.80 per serving. The cost from a stocked pantry is $2.09, and to specify, a serving is 2 cups of broth and 5 wontons, clocking in at 240 calories per bowl. So these are all the wontons that pack of wontons made, but we still have all of this meat left. And our broth is simmering nicely, and Randy has processed all of the bok choy and onions for us. So we ended up making some fried pork patties with just some of the leftover wonton filling. For the pork fritters, I'm assuming a stocked pantry, as it's using all the same seasonings as the wonton soup, with the leftover pork and seasonings making 6 servings at $1.12 per serving. And if enjoyed with a mayonnaise dip, the fritters are 360 calories. These are the wontons. We made some like garlic, toasted sesame oil, mayonnaise, soy sauce blend. I like it. Randy was not that impressed, but I like it. And then here we have the crunchy sushi tray, Sam's Club sushi. Slightly better than gas station sushi. Ember is keeping me company while I edit, and she loves getting petted with her little back scratcher. She's going to ignore me right now because she's cleaning her feet. But oh yeah, that's some good stuff, isn't it? Hey guys, so this is challenging my brain just as much as any other homework, but I factored it down where you can't see because it's backlit. But the sushi, we only ate that with dinner, so that was $15.73. But then the baby bok choy, we're getting used for multiple things as well, so I was going to factor in like a fourth of that price for the baby bok choy, and then the cost of the wine, starch, garlic, oil, and soy sauce was $23.97. So $23.97 of this meal was just the seasonings, but I used them for a very long time. Like, it didn't use up any of those individual things. So the way I figured it is I used about 1/10 of each container on average, and so the cost for the seasonings I'm going to factor in at $2.40, just rounding up to the nearest cent. Oh my god, you guys, this is so much more challenging. This is future Yvonne editing. I just happen to be wearing the same shirt. That is what I do on edit days. This has been so challenging trying to just, because I'm not very good at budgeting. Like, I do my best, but I get I just aim for the gist of it. It's like, okay, as long as I stay under this number, I'll be fine. But I hadn't ever in my life gone so far as to actually figure out what is the price per plate. So I'm really excited that I'm doing this, but please correct me if I mess up, or if there's an easier way to do this, please suggest it to me, because your girl's brain is soup. No noodles, just soup, smooth soup. So that being said, the cost for Tuesday, which I don't know if I should do this by per plate or per day for both Randy and I, I don't know, because we're just feeding the two of us, but I think for now I'm going to do it per plate, but I'd love to hear what you guys think, if I should do it a different way. So for the chili for lunch, we had, because I don't even remember if we ate breakfast on Tuesday. I didn't get video of it, so it's not in there. But lunch was chili, which was 773 calories, and cost $3.75 per serving. And that's with having some milk and cornbread with it. Dinner was the sushi, bok choy, wonton soup, and pork fritters, which the bok choy was in the soup and fritters, but it was 1,082 calories, so really calorie dense, and it was also quite expensive at $12.16 per plate. But then, my inclination is to think, oh, this is really expensive, but I'm like, where else can I get a sushi dinner with soup and fritters for $13 that tastes this good? Because the other place in town that one of my favorite restaurants is Wasab, and it costs us $100 to go and eat there. Each of us gets a roll of sushi and a bowl of their combination fried rice. But it's the comparable meal is $100 at a restaurant. So, eek. But so I guess $12.16 per plate isn't so bad. So the total cost for food on Tuesday was $15.91 per person, or for both Randy and I, $31.82. That seems really high, but this was also our special day off dinner, so we'll see how that goes through the rest of the week. Also, I don't know how I should be presenting this information, because at the core of this video is for myself, because I'm I can't imagine anybody else caring how much my food is for money and calories expenses, but I feel I need this information. But I also don't know how to present this information to myself or to y'all in a way that makes I don't know how to do Excel spreadsheets, but we were started, and that's a great way of going. So wish me luck. Wish us all luck. So I'm thinking that if each week that I do this, I just do the cost analysis for 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 of the dishes, then in like 5 weeks, I'll probably done a cost analysis on all the recipes that we cook on a regular basis. So I think I'm just going to show you guys what I had to eat for the rest of the week just so I could be done editing. Is that the lazy, terrible way of doing it? I think it might be, but here we go. But let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions for tutorials that I should try, if there's something that I'm doing that's like glaringly wrong or easy to fix, that way we can be having more budget friendly, because like all of this seems very expensive and I don't even know. Like, but you can't manage what you don't measure. And so just starting by measuring, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the cost analysis. It'll be really hard on this front week, but then the future weeks will be easy. So I'm going to keep going. Good morning, everybody. I am making briskets and beans. Look at how good our beans swell. Woo! And then I've got my crock pot liner in because my crock pot is cracked. And I'm just making do with what I've got. Over here, I got a favorite spatula. Activate. I've got some tallow here that I'm cooking up. I'm doing the onions in. So I'm just getting this going, and then I'll catch you up. Wait, I'm going to be honest, this is way more work than I thought it would be. Not the onions, but just everything in general. So what I've got going on in here is we had 2 cups of beans soaked overnight. I'm going to be popping in this thing of broth and then topping it off with water, because broth gets expensive really quick if I use it as much as I want to. And then this is actually smoked brisket that a friend vacuum sealed. And oh my God, so I have no idea, you guys, on how to factor the expense of this. I guess I'm just going to weigh it and see how much it would cost to buy that much smoked brisket from either Sam's or like a restaurant or something. But so the heater's on, so the audio is not going to be great, but welcome to my kitchen. So this is a pound, 7.4 ounces of smoked brisket. We had 8 pouches of this, or 18 servings of brisket from our friend. We paid $100 for it, and then he smoked it for us for free. So I've got that sitting there. We've got 1 onion browned in tallow and whatever brisket fat I could scrape off. In the 2 cups of soaked overnight beans, and I'm going to be adding in the chicken broth and then topping off the rest of it with water, because if I use broth as much as I want to, it gets really expensive really fast. So your girl's going to have to start making her own broth, but I don't know where I'm going to find the time. I'm also adding these to our fine slop that we have. I hope that looks more appetizing in 8 hours. I love the way that the steam coming up out of the food cooking looks when you freshly put a lid on and it's just starting to condense. Like, so nice. I just love it. I love cooking. All right, so we have a steaming hot. Actually, let's go ahead. We're gonna come over here and I'm gonna grab just a little boop and a little boop off the Thai basil. I dropped some of it into the sink, but there we go. Okay, now that's terrible footage. So now breakfast is burnt pork fritters. I didn't mean to burn them, but here we are. And second day wonton soup, a fried egg, and then we've got some of that like sesame oil, soy sauce, mayonnaise, garlic goo. It's delicious and I love it. And I can't wait to have this breakfast because I'm ravenous and it is like noon 30. You ready? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Ooh. Okay. Dinner tonight is more Jiffy cornbread from the box, and I had started these brisket beans in the crock pot this morning, but the crock pot, it never got hot enough, so I moved it over here and just been keeping an eye on it on the stove for the past about 2.5, almost 3 hours, just letting it simmer until the beans are really nice and done. These are some older beans. We're eating them from the back of the pantry, but I think they're going to be good. Randy's having his with a little bit of rice in the bottom, and I'm just going to be having mine. You see the steamed up screen? I'm going to be having mine just with some cornbread and salad. So this is dinner. We have the brisket beans on rice for Randy, brisket beans with sour cream and avocado for me. I'm having a salad and we're sharing some cornbread. Good morning, y'all. It is Friday. We have a live auction today for a business, so I'm really excited and I hope it's going well. Chronic pain is at a mild, like 25% brain capacity, so I have my compression sleeves on, but I've got my broth. Well, this is for both Randy and I, but we've got our wonton soup with 5 wontons each. I have 100 grams of rice, and I gave Randy just the rest. We're each having an egg, fried egg on top of the rice, and this is some baby bok choy with some seasonings and like pan-seared and then steamed to finish it off. So I'm really excited to try this out. So this is our dinner tonight. We're each having a piece of cornbread, some grapes that are delicious, and then the leftover brisket beans. I'm having mine with avocado and we're both having it with a bit of sour cream. Alrighty, y'all. We've cleaned up after dinner and I am prepping up some jars of oatmeal for 2. This is the recipe. Prepped in the jar, I have 1 cup of oats, a 1/3 cup of powdered milk, 2 tablespoons brown sugar, 1/8 teaspoon each of cinnamon and salt. On the stove, I'll be cooking it. I'll boil the 2 cups of water with a tablespoon of butter. Dump in the jar, stir to mixed, simmer while stirring periodically for 7 minutes. Then I switch the heat off, put the lid on, and let it sit for 5. And I serve it in a bowl of 2 tablespoons of heavy cream and 3 dates, and it is my favorite breakfast, especially when it's cold outside. So we partied like wild animals and ate a whole thing of ice cream together last night. Calories accounted for, but oof. Good morning, everybody. I forgot to get video of everything we ate yesterday, which was only eating out at a like Asian King buffet, I think was the name of it, with our niece after belly dance, and then we had leftover chili and cornbread for dinner. So here's the info on that. But today for breakfast, we are having oatmeal. Randy's taking his with cream and blueberries, and then mine, this is the oatmeal that we prepped up the cans of earlier. You can see that heavy cream. Oh, it's so good, you guys. And some dates. I put the dates in the cream while the oatmeal cooks. That way the cream like leaches some of the flavor. You can see it steaming up the camera lens, but this is breakfast today. Lunch today is, I'm going to be having probably half of this bowl of ramen and giving Randy the rest. And then I've got my Lunchable, which is a meat and cheese rolls with mustard on it, some blueberries, nuts, and everything but the bagel, seasoning, egg. Uncomfortable close-up shots of my food. So I got the pork loin processed down, the one we had gotten from Sam's Club, each for like a dinner and then leftovers for the next day. We do 3 pork chops, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 servings from a $22 pork loin. Well, 5, not servings, because that's actually, this is 4 servings. So 20 servings from $22 of pork. So this pork is going to be cooked up with dinner tonight, and these other 4 are going into the deep freezer. Dinner this evening is braised pork chops with goat cheese, sweet potatoes, and green beans for 2, and it made leftovers for tomorrow. And the cost analysis should be popping up on your screen now, both for calories and price per plate. Dessert this evening are these little homemade, well, it's like a DIY at home Nutter Butter. It's graham crackers, and for each, like this is my half, and then this will be Randy's half, and you can see there's honey in there, and it's just a tablespoon of creamy peanut butter for each of us, and about a half teaspoon of honey. But between the graham crackers like that, it makes a really nice treat, especially with some milk. Good morning, y'all. Breakfast is leftover cornbread and the last of the brisket beans and the last of our sour cream. So fortunately it is Monday, and so we're going to be putting together a grocery order for tomorrow, and sour cream will be on the list. I didn't get video of it, but I ate what was the contents of this container, which was my last prepared Lunchable for lunch today. Dinner tonight is leftovers from last night, so we're having the green beans, pork loin, and air-fried potatoes with caramelized onions, 2 ounces of goat cheese, each and 1 cup of grapes each. Alrighty guys, so the sun is set. It has taken me all day to edit this and get it figured out, but I know that next week and every week after that is just going to keep getting easier. I'm going to continue to track my calories as well as the cost per meals and just figuring out this info. Like, I've got it all written down in my notebook. But it boiled down to my thoughts. This is way more work than I thought it was going to be, but I'm hoping that it's worthwhile. I don't know what is normal. That's my main, checking my notes. That's my main takeaway, is that I do not know what is normal. It seems like I'm spending too much money on food. Like, I'm sure I can trim the fat in multiple ways. Like, my goals for the coming week, because I think it's very important to delineate, if that's the right word, to establish where the goalpost is for the next week. And for me, that is, I would like to consistently hit 2,000 or less calories per day. So I'm going to keep track of that and try my best to not exceed 2,000 calories for 7 days. Like, I think that would be reasonable just because I've got goals. And to just keep tracking the price per meal and stuff. I think by the end of the video, I kind of had it figured out where I'm giving you video of the food, awkwardly close-up video of the food, and breaking down like the cost for the different components of that. And then at the end of the day, being like, this is my total, both for cost and calories. So the cost of the food consumed, I've got where you can look. I hope that's not backwards. I'll try to put a picture in if it's backwards. Basically, the weekly total was $71.07 per person, or $142.14 for the household, with an average of 1,987 calories per day. But I think that's wrong, because I've realized now that I've edited everything, I wasn't 80 calories a day. I did not account for, because that's how much creamer I use in my coffee every day. And there might have been some things that I missed, but that being said, I'll just do better next week. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to get started. So, the average price per day was $11.85. And that's even with us going out to eat, which my goal is, I don't really like spending money to go out to eat if I can help it. I mean, unless it's like super yummy good. And there's not a lot of places in our neck of the woods, I hate to say, that are worth the money that they cost. Like, worth the money that it costs to eat there. And so, like, maybe eating out once every other week is okay, like, because I'd rather pay a little bit more but have the food taste really good. So anyways, $11.85 per person per day, or $23.69 for the household per day. So that was our average this week. I'm excited to see. I've already started recording for next week and stuff. Like, my week kind of resets on Tuesday. Stay tuned, guys. We'll see how this goes. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this information, but you can't manage what you don't measure, and so I'm really excited to be getting these measurements. And I feel really blessed and really lucky to get to eat in such an abundant way. Like, I just feel like I'm eating like a king. I feel like I have such a broad variety of food. Like, oh my God, just that I can go to the store and just get fresh food, or fresh-ish food. Sorry, I just put lotion on. I'm not like, blah, like plant, it's been a long day. But yes, this is luxuriant to me, especially compared to how we used to eat whenever we were working our way out of debt, and whenever we were on the road, like doing, 30 to 35 conventions and art shows and stuff a year. There was a whole lot of just eating gas station food and McDonald's and Burger King and stuff. Like, there was a whole lot of just eating that's how we gained all of our weight, was a decade on the road of eating truck stop food, pretty much. And then, but I don't want to just be eating I don't want to be eating our paycheck. Like, if there's money that we can be saving, I would rather be saving it. And so that's a big motivator for why I'm taking a very, very close look at our food budget. Just because it's like, what are the most impactful ways that I can reduce our grocery budget while still maintaining this kind of like, eat for less, but still feel like I'm eating like a king. And then also, I don't want to eat ourselves into an early grave. And so we both, like, I've still got about 80 pounds to lose. I was at 254, I think was the highest I'd ever weighed in. And so I'm down a bit from there. I'm weighing in, I think this morning at 222.2. But just kind of keeping like checks on these things, just because, again, can't manage what you don't measure. But I just, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So stay tuned. We'll see how this goes. Thank you to everybody who has been so supportive. I know that this Making It on a Quarter is a relatively new channel, but I wouldn't be able to do what I do if we didn't have such amazing YouTube communities across our multiple channels. And so thank you guys for being here and watching. I'll see y'all next time. So until then, keep on keeping on. Mwah. Bye.